The only time you'll be able to do that and maximize that is when you start investing now. Because if you wait until you get promoted, you wait until you get that new shiny job, you wait until you get higher earnings, you don't develop a skill, you don't develop the expertise, you don't develop the time, you don't develop the learnings that are attached to it, and then you'll end up wishing and waiting also for the next big downturn before you start entering, or you'd end up waiting for the next perfect time. In this video, I want to give you a couple of reasons why it's a good idea to start investing now, even if there's uncertainty. Because the main goal, the main narrative is that you have to build a base, you have to start investing while you are at the prime of your years. So I want to give you a couple of reasons, but then again, after this, do your own due diligence, research, and try to figure out if this is something that works for you. Because here's the thing, when you get older, when you hit 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, you will always look back and thank yourself for starting to save and invest early. So reason number one, it's all about compounding interest. The more you start early, the more you give yourself the ability to let your money work hard for you. The power of compounding interest. You have to realize this, that when you put your money and as it earns and you start to reinvest that, the earnings from the earnings of the earnings that you have will grow massively, versus if you delay it and wait a longer period of time before you start to invest. If you say start in your 20s versus you start in your 30s or you start in your 40s, what you put in while in your 20s, by starting early, and it doesn't have to be much, will be significantly more versus you putting in more when you are in your 40s. Why? Because when you start early, you allow time to make your money grow for you. You allow time to make your money compound as well. And here's the thing, and I've said this in different videos, that when you let time make your money work hard for you, that's something that you can never take back anymore. Why? Each time you waste, each time that you don't let your money compound or work hard for you, is money lost. It's money that you cannot take back anymore, because investments can be made and lost, but time, you can never gain that back. That's why I keep saying this all the time. Always place a great preference on time above everything else. And time invested is not wasted. Number two, long-term growth potential. The younger you are, the greater your ability to be able to take risks. 2023, I'm gonna turn 40 the next few months, and the risks that I could take right now, closing into my 40s, would be so much different already than the risks that I could have taken when I was younger, when I was in my 20s. And here's the thing, when I was in my 20s, I was living with my parents, I had a job, I had savings, but right now also, I have a wife, I have a kid. Although I'm investing in assets that are riskier, if I was just starting out and didn't have any investments, I wouldn't have the ability to go all in on those investments, because I had to take care of my base. I had to take care of protecting myself should things go bad. But if you're young and you're in your mid-20s or your early 30s or your mid-30s, there's a lot that you could actually do. There's a lot more things that you can do, especially if you're single and you have lesser responsibilities, and if there's lesser people counting and depending on you. So that allows you to be able to attach yourself to riskier investments that you have seen also perform well given longer time horizons. And it goes back also to what I said earlier, that if you're younger, you can take riskier bets because you have time on your side. Those are things that people who are older can't do. I challenge you, talk to someone who's in their 60s. They'll always say that they wish they should have saved more when they were younger. They wish they would have invested more when they were younger, because it's hard to be dependent on your relatives. It's hard to be dependent on other people when you're older. That's why what I'm saying is take control of your own financial destiny today, while you have the ability to be able to save a lot and while you are very, very productive. Do that by investing and putting it in assets that will grow for the long term. Highly connected to that's number 3. When you're younger, you have the ability to be able to experience and learn and take on more risk. because you have the ability to be able to see it through and to check if it's something that works out for you. That's not the case with people who are older already, because they have to be more precise in the way they execute their investments. So when I was younger, I kept on experimenting. Majority of the investments that I tried, even the way I would save also, my main intention for those things were not just for me to be able to earn, but my main intention for those things was, what can I learn from this? Because if I knew that I had the ability to learn from it later on, if I become good at it, or I had the ability to be able to maximize that more and have a lot of experience on it and become very good at it, then I would actually earn. So what I'm saying is this: while you're young, maximize your ability to learn, because that will increase your capacity also to earn later on, because you can make a lot of mistakes when you're younger without really jeopardizing a large part of your future. That's not the case when you're older. Number 4 is this: when you're younger, you could recover from more downturns. And this is what a lot of people don't really talk about, because even if you invest at the peak of the market but your time horizon is long, you'll be able to survive it, because if your time horizon is long, once it drops, you have the ability to stack and add a lot. Or if you don't have the ability to stack and add a lot, you just have to wait. The longer you wait, you will actually see it also recover. And I've made so many videos about this, talking about markets are cyclical, that a recovery always happens, that it will always go back up, especially for assets that are game changing and really good, or stocks that are really good as well. They'll bounce back. If your time horizon is long, you have the ability to maximize that, you have the ability to take advantage of that, you have the ability to be able to experience that, and you have the ability to also see that, hey, long-term investing actually works. And that's why I keep saying this and keep hammering this. Don't waste your time not saving and investing. Don't waste your time not putting it in assets that matter, regardless if it's stocks or crypto or real estate or starting your own business, or putting in something that will give you a certain amount of risk but will give you the ability to be able to learn, to earn more also later on. Because after every long downturn, you will experience also upward trends, upward movements, seasons and cycles where the markets will also go up, because it's part of the game, because it's part of how you will see markets move and markets shift. But the more you start investing now, and the more you realize how important it is, the more you will be able to weather downturns, and the more you will also realize that downturns are the ability for you to be able to build life-changing volume as well. Highly connected to that also is this: if you're young, you have the ability to rake in larger amounts of return that older people cannot take, because as what I've said earlier, the younger you are, the more risk you take. The older you are, the lesser risk you take, and the lesser risk you take also, the lesser amount of money you can earn, because investments like that are generally safer. You can take advantage of more opportunities as well. In my early 20s, and even in my mid 20s, or even in my early 30s, I just kept on experimenting. And even right now, I know I'm a bit older. I know I'm turning 40 this year, but in spite of me being older, I've already developed also, I know my risk profile. I know the investments that I can take in. I know the investments that I should not take in. I know where my competence also would lie. I've developed that, and I've learned that by experimenting and learning more also while I was younger. And also, I know already what to double down on. I know also what already to avoid. I already also have a sample size based on my mistakes when I was also younger. The only time you'll be able to do that and maximize that is when you start investing now. Because if you wait until you get promoted, you wait until you get that new shiny job, you wait until you get higher earnings, you don't develop a skill, you don't develop the expertise, you don't develop the time, you don't develop the learnings that are attached to it, and then you'll end up wishing and waiting also for the next big downturn before you start entering, or you'll end up waiting for the next perfect time. But I'll say this over and over, it's not just about timing or spotting the bottom or figuring out where the top is, but it's also spending time. Because the longer you spend time, it will make up for your mistakes, it will make up for your lack of experience, it will make up also for your lack of knowledge. As much as a lot of people want to time the market or also see how economic recoveries will be, focus on how you can build a base and life-changing volume while you're accumulating and while you're stacking and while you're at the prime of your years. Even if you don't earn a lot, but if you stack a lot and you set aside a lot, I think that's what will matter the most in the grand scheme of things. That will be able to also provide for your future, that will also give you the ability to have enough funds when you're older. And please do remember this, that financial freedom isn't having this and that and this and that, but it's really having the ability to live life at your own terms, the ability to do what you want, when you want, the ability to be able to have the peace of mind that even if something bad happens, or if sickness happens, or if a downturn in the economy would happen, you would be able to weather it and not just survive, but also thrive. Let COVID, the lockdowns, whatever we saw in the past 3 years be an encouragement and a lesson for us that we need to take care of our finances today, that we need to take control of our financial destiny today. And I hope you guys got a lot from this, and I hope that this was something that was helpful. This is Marvin Germo. Everything you need to know about me are in the description below. My books, my seminars, my thousands of videos in this channel. I hope that this is something that helped you. It gave me massive value. And I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, and God bless you all.